What is up, Razor Dreams fans? Man, we are just hanging out here still in St. Augustine, Florida. Jesse and I spent half the day downtown in the old city. We went to incredible, beautiful Fort National Forest, and man, it is just sweltering hot out here. What is up, everyone? We're back. Man, we're all here at Carolina Adventure World just hanging out. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Welcome everyone, I'm Benny from Razor Dreams, and we are going to show you exactly the ins and outs of our new Wet Sounds Shiver cooler that we have from our sponsors, Performance East out of Goldsboro. Shout out to Performance East, the Weeks family. But hey, we've been down here in beautiful St. Augustine, Florida for the last 2 days, and we've been letting this cooler sit in direct sunlight with about 99 to 100 degrees each day. Some days heat index is up to 108. So we are going to just kind of show you what this cooler is all about. I have never heard of it or seen one before until I saw one on the showroom floor over there at our dealer, and so yeah, I think it's a really good situation, and it has a lot of functions, so let's just go ahead and get into it. Alright, so let's get into the specifics and details of this cooler. This is a Shiver 55 in gray. It is a 58 quart cooler. It has a Wet Sounds soundbar with an integrated 200 watt amplifier and a lithium-ion battery. So basically how this works is there is a cable for this, and it charges the battery in here. So this is completely mobile, completely wireless and cordless, and the website claims that it has an 8-hour playtime capability. So in my experience, it has yet to need a recharge. I've been using this on and off for about the last 2 weeks now, and it sounds really good. We haven't pushed it that hard yet because there's just so many people around, and I don't want to cause a ruckus. But this is a really cool situation. I like the combination of the soundbar and the cooler. I didn't think I would appreciate it as much as I do, but I really do, and I'll kind of explain that here in a second. Right here we have a pressure relief valve, which is really awesome. I personally own 2 Orcas, and most of the time when I close this lid, pulling them off is opening it back up is extremely hard. What I normally have to do is I have to go into the drain valve, loosen the drain valve a little bit in order to release that pressure. Well, Wet Sounds did it right. They put this pressure relief valve right here, so it's a lot easier if there is a vacuum in there, which does happen to very well insulated and very well sealed coolers. It allows you to open these coolers a lot easier. So we are at hour 55 with our cooler, and look at these ice cubes. They're still huge, and mind you, this cooler has now been sitting in direct sunlight. Down here it's about 108 degrees. It's extremely hot. This thing is still kicking it. I was rocking the music earlier and this thing sounds good. So right here we see the functions of this sound bar. What we have here is the power on and off switch. Over here to the right of that is the Bluetooth connection button. We also have a volume up and volume down, and then a next track, backtrack feature right there as well. This plug right here is for your DC charging cable. Now you can charge this from the wall, so a 120 volt outlet, or this will also charge from a vehicle's lighter switch. So if you have one of those 12 volt lighter switch connections, say if you're out camping, if you're out riding, something like that, you do not need to charge this sound bar from a 120 volt wall outlet. Here, right in this area, we have an auxiliary in. So if you are using, maybe you have an old school iPod kind of a guy or gal, and you need to plug that in, you can absolutely do that right here. And then we also have a line out. So if you want to send additional music that's going through this speaker in a Bluetooth situation, but you want to send that music out to another speaker, you can absolutely do that to add more, to make it louder. Maybe you have a subwoofer or something like that. On the side of the coolers, you're going to see this very heavy duty, durable rope in order for you to carry it. It does have this nice foam situation, so that way when you're carrying it, you don't have to worry about the ropes kind of clinging to your hands or anything like that. And then you have your drain plug here on the right hand side as well. It works really good. I've drained this cooler a couple times already, and it drains just as well as any other cooler of this line on the market today. Usually what I do is I undo this knob and then I tilt it up a little bit so that the rest of the water can go out. You have probably about an ounce and a half water left in there once it's completely drained if you leave it flat, and then you'll just wipe it up if you really want to. I do that. I do wipe up the water and then I'll leave it open so that it can completely dry out. On the top here, which I think is also a really cool feature, is you have 4 cup holders. So when I'm saying that this cooler has a lot of different functions, now obviously there are other coolers out there that will have some of the same but not nearly as many. So you have 4 cup holders, which is really cool for tailgating, or if you're taking this to the beach, you already have your table so that you can put your food on there, you can put your drinks on there and not worry about them spilling or anything like nature, or anything of that nature. Obviously you can use it as a table and you can use it as a seat. So I think they did really well with the top. The one thing I will criticize is tie down situations. So here, if you don't have any additional equipment that you've purchased, if you want to tie this down, if let's say you're putting it in the back of a side-by-side, or you're putting it on the back of a four-wheeler, you really don't have a lot of tie down options, and this is the only place, this side and the other side of the front, to where you can put a lock in here in order for you to secure this cooler if you don't want it walking away at night. I have yet to put a lock in there, so let's go ahead and see how that works. All right, right here I have the master lock to my front latch of my hitch for my camper that you all see right here. Is my travel trailer. We are out camping with our Lance, and we're gonna see if this will actually go in there or if I would have to buy a smaller type of lock. All right, so it's not gonna fit. I would have to buy a very specific lock for this in order for me to lock this up at night, which is not a good thing. They probably could have drilled these holes a little bit bigger. I probably could drill those holes out if I wanted to, but that would damage the insulation capability. If you see very closely in there, it is plastic all the way through. So I think that's one thing I would like to have seen done a little bit better. And let's hope their next upgrade line comes out and it does improve those. The Orcas that I own have much bigger holes in order for you to lock in and secure to make sure this thing doesn't go missing. So it is Saturday, July 20th, and it is exactly 72 hours since we have loaded up our Wet Sounds Shiver cooler with ice and roughly about 30 to 35 drinks. I had about 24 alcoholic beverages in here, and then I had also about 10 to 15 combinations of bottled water and Gatorades. So let's find out where our ice is, what it looks like, how it feels, and we'll just see how we're doing here. All right, well, I would say roughly 98% of the ice is completely gone. We do have some ice cubes over here. They aren't that big, but there are ice cubes in here. I will tell you the water itself is extremely cold. I love my drinks really, really cold, and I would absolutely drink this beverage right here. Jessica likes hers cold too. So I will say for the conditions that it's in, this is not going to be a typical situation that you're using this cooler in. The heat index has been around 105, 108 degrees, and I'm really happy with it. So, like I said, the last 3 nights we've been out here in St. Augustine, we've been enjoying the music. Jessica was inside watching television last night while I was out here working on the camper, cleaning it and wiping it down, and she said that she could hear the bass from my XM channel. I listen to Pitbull, the Pitbull channel, Globalization, a lot, and she was complaining. She was like, the bass is too loud. I didn't really have it turned up that much, but all in all, I really like the way it's been maintaining the ice. Now keep in mind, we've been opening it and closing it quite a bit. I also introduced an 18 pack of those Bud Light Limes midway through this quick test that we're doing here, and it's handled it really well. So now that we know a little bit about the ergonomics and the logistics of this cooler, I'm going to go ahead and show you just actually how quickly and easily it is to hook up to this thing with your Bluetooth device. Obviously everyone has a phone today. Mostly everyone has a smartphone, and that's where you're going to play all your music through. So let's just go ahead and turn this on. So it is on. It's hard to see because it's pretty bright out here, but it is on. I'll open up Jessica's phone right here, and then I'm going to go ahead and press and hold this Bluetooth connection button. I'll touch the Shiver cooler on her phone. And we're connected. So like I was saying earlier, this thing sounds really good. It does have a lot of cool functions. I ended up using this a lot more than I thought I would. So on the outside of our travel trailer, we have speakers, and the speakers are driven by a stereo that are inside of the camper. And having this outside, I actually ended up using this more, specifically because the controls were outside. Now my camper does have an app for the stereo, so I can maneuver around the controls and settings and things of that nature. However, you cannot turn the stereo on and off through the app. You have to actually go into the travel trailer and turn it on and off. So not only that, this camper in specific has a Jensen stereo. So that's typically what you're going to find in an RV is a Jensen product. We have a Jensen stereo and a Jensen televisions. So the way this is set up is it has different zones as well. So when you turn the stereo on, you have to go to each zone of the camper depending on how large your RD is, and you have to turn those specific zones up to a specific volume. So even though it's great inside, having the stereo, having the capability to turn different zones louder than others, it can be a little bit tedious. It can be a little bit of work. This is a lot better, specifically because I can just come outside. If I want to have music, I can just turn it on right here. It takes me about 5 to 10 seconds to connect to it, and it's just ready to go. And it sounds really good. Not only is it sounding good out here, but I mean, if you have a side-by-side like we do, obviously the things that we do on this channel here is we go off-roading a lot. We have our RZRs, we have our Ranger build mod that we did a couple months ago. And if you do not have a stereo in your side-by-side, this is a perfect situation for you, because what you can do is just turn this around, put it in the back of your side-by-side or your four-wheeler, and you can just turn the music on and use the Bluetooth feature with that, and boom, you got it. And it's mobile. So when you're done riding around on the trails, you can just take this off the back of the side-by-side. You can take it to your spot, your hangout, or your campsite, and then you've got music there. Like I said, you can take this to the beach. You can do tailgating. So it's very versatile, and that's one of the main features that I liked about it. So we're going to continue to use this weekend while we're out here enjoying our anniversary weekend down here in St. Augustine, Florida. We hope that you liked our review of this cooler. It's an absolute definite something that you should be considering if you're looking for a new cooler. I think it's going to work really well. We've been leaving it outside. It has yet to have any issues. It cleans up really easily, and I think that is something that you would appreciate if you bought it. Now, the MSRP for something like this that you're going to find if you're looking around, maybe they sell these at Cabela's or things of that nature, whatever the case may be, you're going to see this MSRP up for about $900. However, if you go into Performance East and you let them know that you saw this video, I want you to go ahead and talk to Joey Lombardo or Travis Weeks or even my buddy Taylor over there. Let them know that you saw our video, and they're going to give you a $200 discount on this specific cooler. They do have them in different types of colors, so you're going to be able to walk off the showroom floor with this one for $700 bucks. Now keep in mind, you might be saying that's quite a little bit of money, but you're getting a lot of different features with this. So not only are you getting an incredible cooler, but you're getting sound, you're getting music, you're getting a sound bar. So I think it's totally worth it if that's what you're looking for. Not only that, but it makes it a lot easier. You don't have to carry multiple products. You don't have to carry a speaker and then your cooler. It's all right here. It does not take up as much space as I thought it would in the cooler. I was able to put easily 30 drinks in here with plenty of ice. A lot of ice went in here as well. So like I said, this is day 3 having a cooler. The water is still very cold, very hot out here. If you were using this for a typical day in the 70s or maybe even the high 70s, I mean, your ice is going to last for much, much longer. But anyway, hey, thanks a lot for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Do me a favor, subscribe to our channel and give us a like. And if you have any additional questions on this cooler specifically, go ahead and drop a comment, and we always get back to all of our folks who are asking. And we really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.